So here's the summary of mishnayis Hey through Tes, where the mishnayis listed the Eser Kedushos, the 10 areas in the world that have special holiness to them. And I know, again, this looks a little complicated, but it's really, again, very simplistic. We have the 10 categories of areas, Eretz Yisrael, the Ayoros Mukavos Chayma, all 11 categories, and then on this side, you have the respective halachas that makes them holy. So now, I'm sure you're thinking that if you look at this list, it goes down to number 11, and the Mishna said that there are Eser Kedushos, which is a little sticky situation, because if there's supposed to be 10, then there's 11, so what's going on here? So there's two answers that the Bartanura says. Either he says Eretz Yisrael is actually not counted, because Eretz Yisrael, the halacha that shows its holiness is the fact that you bring the Omer, the Bikurim, and the Shtei Halechem from produce from Eretz Yisrael. So it's a positive obligation that's generated from the holiness of Eretz Yisrael, while all the other categories have a negative prohibition that's generated from them. Either someone has to be sent out of that area, or you can't eat certain foods in that area. There's a negative prohibition that's generated from all other categories, which is why Eretz Yisrael is not counted, because it's a positive commandment that's generated from it, and that doesn't show the holiness of it. So that's answer number one, that Eretz Yisrael doesn't count, and therefore Ayoros Mukavos Chayma, the walled cities of Eretz Yisrael, is really number one, not number two. The second answer is that, if you remember, Rabbi Yossi held that Bein Ha'ulam V'Lam Mizbeach is Shaveh Lehechol, that these two areas are really, they have the same halachas. And whatever is prohibited in the Heichel is also prohibited Bein Ha'ulam V'Lam Mizbeach. And this is all one category. So these are the two answers. Either Eretz Yisrael does not count, or Bein Ha'ulam V'Lam Mizbeach and the Heichel is all considered one category. So either way, what are these 10 or 11 areas that have special Kedusha to them? We had number one, Eretz Yisrael, which was holy because from Eretz Yisrael you bring the Omer, the Bikurim, and the Shtei Halechem. Number two, we have Ayoros Mukavos Chayma, the walled cities of Eretz Yisrael. The reason why that area is holy is because number one, you send out the Mitzayrom, Mishalchin Mitzayrom. You have to send out the Mitzayrom from that area. Number two, Yotza Hames, if a human corpse leaves a walled city, Ein Machzirin, you can't return him in. The walled cities of Eretz Yisrael have that holiness that a dead person can't be brought into them. Number three, you have Lifnim Min HaChayma, inside the walls of Yerushalayim, inside the ancient walled city of Yerushalayim, and the holiness is apparent that Ochlim Kochim Kalim U'Maiser Sheni, because you're allowed to eat Kochim Kalim in Yerushalayim and Maiser Sheni. Number four, we have the Har HaBayis. The holiness is showed because as Ein Zav Anido Yeledes Nichnasim L'Sham, a Zav Anido Yeledes can't enter on the Har HaBayis. Number five, we have the Chil. The chil is so kaddish that ein goyim v'tamei meis nichnasim. A goy and a tamei meis can enter on within the chil. 6, we have the Ezras Noshim. The Ezras Noshim ein tevul yom nichnas. A tevul yom can enter into the Ezras Noshim. Number 7, we have the Ezras Yisrael. Within the Ezras Yisrael, ein mechusar kippurim nichnas. A mechusar kippurim can enter into it. Number 8, we have the Ezras Kohanim. Within the Ezras Kohanim, ein Yisrael nichnas. Even a Jew, a Yid, a Yisrael cannot enter. Number 9, we have Bein Ha'ulam V'Mizbeach, in between the Ulam and the Mizbeach, and the halach is Ein Balei Mumin Purei Reish Nichnasim. The Kohanim that have blemishes or that have unkept wild hair, they haven't gotten a haircut in 30 days, they are not allowed to enter into the Bein Ha'ulam V'Mizbeach. Number 10, we have the Heichel. Within the Heichel, if you haven't washed your hands and feet, Shaloi Rochot Yadayim Raglayim, or if you drink some revius of wine, those Kohanim are not allowed to enter into the Heichel. And number 11, we have the Kodesh HaKadoshim. And in the Kodesh HaKadoshim, no one can enter unless you're the Kohen Gadol B'Yom HaKippurim B'Shas Avodah. So these are the 10 or 11 areas that have special Kedusha to them. This one you don't have to read.